Guess what I got us?
Yay! Food!
Yes. Perch on a bun.
Really? Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
That's good.
Yeah, I love the glass. So we have a little treat. This is made from our spent grains by a young local man named Jackson. So it's Beer Bites dog treats. He takes our spent grains and he bakes them, and the dogs love them. So this is for you two.
Are you ready? Old dog gets the first. There you go.
Concession Road Brewing Company. So we've been open about 3.5 years. We opened February of 2018.
My name's Jeff Bunton. I'm the owner and brewmaster of Concession Road Brewing Company, located here in Jarvis, in the old fire hall at the corner of Highway 3 and 6.
Since you make beer for a living, do you have a lot more friends now than you did before you started?
That's a great question. I wouldn't say I have more friends. It's just maybe friends sometimes you haven't seen in a while that came out of the woodwork when we first opened. Yeah.
Do you change your beer up all the time?
Always, yeah. So since opening in February of 2018, we have brewed 80 to 90 different variations of beer. So even our sour, our local sour that we make, we've done, I think, 16 or 18 varieties of it. So it's the same base of the beer, and then we try different fruits and different flavors, sometimes seasonal, sometimes just what's available, and we just chuck it out and see what people respond to. So they haven't all been hits. Some of them are kind of maybe a little bit of a miss, and it's like, okay, maybe coconut is not the hot flavor that everybody wants in a sour, but who knows, right?
What would be the one that you would go home and drink after a hard day of work at the brewery?
Probably this one or a variant of like one of our lighter IPAs. In the summertime, the IPAs are really nice because there's so many different flavors you can get out of these hops, and what's really cool about them is they stand up really well to some bolder like grilling flavors. Like if you're using a little bit more spicy stuff on some meat that you're grilling or whatever, an IPA can stand up to that flavor, whereas maybe a lighter beer just kind of falls into the back, and so it's nice to kind of pair that with that for sure. Cheers. So the mugs are our membership, our yearly membership. So when we started, we sold a mug club, and it's grown every year since, and it's grown organically to the point where we actually had to cut it off this year at 65 members. So that's it. We won't have any more. We can't have any more. I don't want any more. It's a good family.
So basically, this whole brewery thing across Ontario is, or especially Southwestern Ontario, it's like a family thing.
It's community. We're all friends. All the other breweries in the local area, I'm good friends with. We work together. We help each other out. We try to see how we can proliferate craft beer as a whole. It's not necessarily about me making $1 more than you or you. It's how do we all, the rising tide to bring up all the boats, and how do we help each other to proliferate people to just drink and buy better beer and be part of the community.
Okay, half an hour makeup schedule has to be fit in to every day.
We're camping.
That's not camping. That was visiting a nice place.
You're a diva.
I think I am.
You've become a diva.
If I have to leave the campsite.
Where's my makeup? I'm supposed to be the diva.
Good morning, students. I am Miss Stavinga. I am your school marm. Everyone sitting up in your seat, absolutely no talking. Your children of 1925 and will act as such. Hi everyone, I'm Dana Stavinga. I'm the curator of the Wilson MacDonald Memorial School Museum. Just to give you a little bit of history on the museum itself was a schoolhouse from 1872 to 1965. In around the mid-50s, early 60s, all of the one-room schoolhouses closed down and children then were bused into central schools. This schoolhouse in particular, it closed in 1965. And when it did, a lot of the local people, they were really, really upset because they didn't want to see the history of the one-room schoolhouse die. And I don't know how many people know, but there were 79 one-room schoolhouses in Haldimand County.
Who are you? What are we doing here?
I'm Dory MacDonald, and we are talking about Wilson MacDonald, my husband, a Canadian poet who is a Canadian literary treasure.
I think she's doing this historical thing. You know what? They pretend they're another person. I just caught her up, I think. Oh, smart.
So Wilson Pugsley MacDonald was born on May 5th of 1880 here in Cheapside, Ontario. So when Wilson did attend this school, it was about a mile walk to the school, and when he would arrive at the school, his feet would be so cold that he would have to sit on them during class. And then by the time they would warm up, he would have to make the trek back home for lunch.
Uphill, both ways.
Yeah.
Life was tough back then.
His father took him to the woods, and they would spend time together in nature, and Wilson found that valuable. Critics they thought of him as a second-rate poet, unfortunately. But this didn't discourage Wilson because he had such a love for nature and what he was writing about. On a lecture tour in New England in 1935, he met me, his wife, Dory MacDonald. I was a young teacher and staff assistant at an all-girls school across from where he was lecturing. And so I was a fan of his poetry. I found him charming and delightful. And we were engaged. Yet my family didn't approve of him, likely due to the nature of his work, as he was a traveling writer. And so we eloped, and I became his secretary, because from our meeting, he really made me understand that, well, the importance of his work, and that his work would always come first, even above me. He wrote and illustrated every day. He was obsessed with his work and the nature that he wrote about. I'd have to nag him out of his office just to go for a walk with me in the evening. And trust me, it was an arduous task. Wilson died in April of 1967 and is buried in Vienna, Ontario. His last few years were plagued by mental illness. Despite this, while he was still alive, passed by.
This is the sound of horse and wagons going past this, because this is...
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Despite this, while he was still alive, his poems were being read across Canada in schools by students. And he is revered as a monumental figure in Canadian literary history, as his depictions of the prairies and various lands in Canada are revered by many.
And who are you really?
My name is Jane Jagus. I'm a student here at the Wilson MacDonald Memorial School Museum. I'm doing collections management, so cataloging artifacts, looking through stuff, yeah, writing reports, stuff like that. So yeah.
But today you're acting as the...
I'm acting as Dory MacDonald, who was the wife of Wilson MacDonald. Yeah.
And what would you think about now that statement that his job was more important than you?
Sorry, repeat the question.
Well, you said in the historical piece that he thought that his job was more important than his wife.
Yes.
Yes, and now that you're not her anymore,
yeah.
What would you think about that?
Honestly, I think for artists, artists kind of have to do that. Not that, like, I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, when you're an artist, I think you do need to have a specific dedication to your craft because it is so difficult to get by in the world as an artist. Unfortunately, I think a lot of artists, they do lose a lot of people close to them. Is that the best decision they could have made? Probably not. I think there's a balance that should be had, but I do understand, yeah.
When you're reading his stuff, can you relate how significant it was at the time, or was it not significant at the time, it became more significant?
I don't know, I almost think that he may have been overshadowed by other poets of the time, specifically like from Britain and like the States, so like, well, not poets, I guess, like authors and stuff, so like F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, T.S. Eliot, those kinds of authors. So yeah, I don't know, and I mean, Canada was still kind of like rising to become a nation at that point, right? So like the First World War had happened. Obviously, we were winning a lot of battles and stuff, so that was kind of shaping our national identity. So I think Wilson was emerging as like this great poet, and almost like, I don't know, maybe it was a product of his circumstances that he wasn't super popular when he was alive. People still admired him, and I mean, critics are critics, and everybody gets critics. I mean, J.K. Rowling, like, they turned down Harry Potter how many times before it was actually published? Different publishing companies did, and look at her now. So yeah, again, this like dedication to your craft, you really kind of, yeah.
And why do you think he chose nature a lot in his work?
It seems like his dad really inspired him. It seems like his dad, yeah.
Okay.
It seems like his dad really inspired him. I don't know, he introduced him to nature at a young age, and I think at such a young age you're very impressionable, so it obviously had a big impact on it. Like, he said that he'd rather go to the woods with his dad than even go to like a traveling circus, which, I mean, I'd like to go to a traveling circus, but I mean, and I like nature too. So yeah, I don't know, he just had this affinity for it, and it really comes out in his poetry, so yeah.
I've got a face for radio.
Come on back. Don't leave me hanging on my own. Hey?
Who are you guys, and what's this place?
My name is Casey, and this is Robert, and we are Fresh Market Kitchen and Steeltown Smokers. Steeltown Smokers is a division of Fresh Market Kitchen. It's our KCBS barbecue competition team. So we do some competitive barbecue, yeah. Today we're doing you a burger, and we've got our own house smoked pulled pork that we smoke there. Rob's my fire master. He runs the smoker, and he live wood. He cooks in there. He makes fire.
This is what I'm good at. I run a fire for about 18-20 hours. Normally, if we do like the pulled pork you're having tonight, we start the night before, and we'll run through the night in all weathers. No liquid smoke, no pellets, no gas, just straight splits of wood. Cherry wood, we always use a fruit wood because it's a really nice, light, fruit, smoky flavour, which then allows us to smoke for 18 hours for our pulled pork and brisket, 6 to 7 hours when we do a roasted chicken, which is like a 7 or 8 pound bird that we do in beer can style, or 6 to 7 hours when we do racks of ribs. And you get a really nice hint of smoke rather than this big heavy flavour. The first week of lockdown is when we opened.
That's when we opened.
No.
Yeah. It's been a struggle. It's been hard.
Wow.
But we're here. We've managed. We can pay the rent every month, keep the lights on. We've got 5 members of staff now. They're all locals from the community. We're able to make our payroll every week, but we're and we're having so much fun. You can't put a price on that. You know, it's fun, and we make great food. Great food.
It's a slower pace of life. We joke if there's 2 cars at the 4-way stop, it's gridlock in Selkirk.
It's an amazing community. It really is.
Christine, our food's coming.
I see it.
Here it is. Look, it's arriving. Oh, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Well,
Weapons.
Awesome.
Weapons.
Thank you so much. Oh boy.
what do we get? What do we
I
get?
don't know. It's a surprise. I have no idea. Okay, let me see here. Oh, it's wrapped up. Oh, that looks good. Oh, that smells really good. I'm not sure what that is.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am. Can I take this off now?
Yeah. What's going on now?
This flask hangs in my backpack, and it's been in there for years, full of scotch, in the hopes that one day I would meet you and Andy on the trail someplace in Killarney or Algonquin. And I found out you were coming to Selkirk today, and I was so excited.
He's been fangirling all week.
That's
True.
not.
He phoned us twice today. Is he there yet? Is he there yet?
So, Mr. Callan, now that you're here, I'm going to have our little shot of scotch. You get the one with the canoe.
Oh, look at that. Wait. Oh.
All right.
We can refill it.
We can refill that.
Is it light?
No,
I
no,
use some of mine.
it's been aged because I have not come across Kevin in the woods. But cheers. Here we are. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sorry.
Oh, we gotta wait for the chef.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh boy.
Do you want me to guess what it is?
Paid dinner.
Exactly.
Well, it's from the west side of the island.
It's peated.
Yeah. Or maybe it's peated, but it's not.
Pressure bomb. It's not bad.
I don't have a freaking clue.
And you know what? Honestly, I don't either. I can't even remember what I
They probably went in there as a 10-year-old and now it's a 15.
It's probably a cheap blend you just got off.
It's not a blend. No.
Well, that was a day. Christina's busy doing her tagging and hashtagging and sharing, that sort of thing. The dogs are fed. They were really good today because we did a lot of stuff today. Visited a lot of good local businesses. One of the main things I wanted to do on this trip, well, I wanted to go back in time, visit places where my dad and I went and he introduced me to nature, that sort of thing. Wanted to promote all the great places in Southwestern Ontario, but also to promote the small businesses because yeah, they're kind of hurting, right? And what's really cool is I got this the Haldimand County Tourism gave me a package for our camping trip. It's kind of cool. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Woo! Chicago style popcorn. Twisted lemon. I think they're Cajun chips, aren't they? No. Where are they? Oh, strawberry rhubarb jam. Oh, look at that. Oh, I know what we're having for breakfast tomorrow. So we've concluded that these are chips.
I'll take those.
Oh.
Oh my. Uh-oh.
Chocolate. What's the chocolate from? My Sweet World. Remember Johnny Carson doing this?
I don't.
No. Haldimand's Economic Development and Tourism Team. Thanks for visiting Haldimand County. Amazing place, by the way. Selkirk Provincial Park. I think this is the only park in this whole Ontario area I haven't been to. I don't remember going here. And I don't know why. It's gorgeous. The campsites are like, you've got private sites for sure. Like, you don't see anybody around you. And I know I'm a tree geek, but the oak trees are huge in here. If you like trees, you got to go to this park just for that reason. And it's a nice beach and nice Lake Erie shorefront, and yeah, really good park. What a whirlwind. Maybe we should have stayed at each park 2 or 3 nights instead of like each night just keep moving like right along, moving right along, moving right along.